Yeah.
Haven't done this.
How long was the last time we recorded one?
2 years, I think.
2022.
Yeah.
2 years ago. Jeez.
No.
Well, I mean, last time.
2021.
Yeah, it was 2022. Yeah. No.
We
That was
did it after the break?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
after the. Remember
Because I was going to say, it was definitely 2021.
the New Year's story. Well, we started in 2021.
Yep.
And then never did one again.
I listened. I went back to listen to that podcast. I didn't
Yeah.
get through the whole thing. The last time I listened to it in full was like a year ago.
Yeah.
But there were a couple different things. I do want to make an official statement. I do
Oh.
sleep without socks now, and we had talked about that
Oh,
back
that's
then.
right, because you slept
You
with
slept
socks
with socks on
You
before?
Yeah.
Psychopath
Yeah,
behavior.
and you guys both said it was psychopathic behavior.
Yeah.
And so I was listening to it now.
I used it as a Hinge pickup line one time.
You use that as a hinge
She
pickup?
she sent me a heart back. So
So-
I was like, all right, what does that mean? Like,
yeah.
I guess you're standing on business with it. But yeah, it's been 2 years, and now we're making a final one forever.
You have
Final
crazy
one
Hinge
forever?
pickup lines. You know he.
No, I mean for a while. We can keep this.
Bro.
We can do recap ones.
You know what's
yeah.
You know what's
Final one
like-
for a while. For a while, because this. I mean, he's gone
Right, but so in person, yes.
in person for we can
But,
always do one on
yeah,
like.
I was thinking about wherever I end up,
we can do
just
one.
to keep busy,
Yeah.
just doing one.
Oh, okay.
Bro.
I lied. This is the
or
last
just
one in
an
person for a while.
Sorry, I've been stuck on this Hinge thing because I wanted to say this because I thought this was so ridiculous. You know, he was texting this one girl. She said something about how she eats her hot dog and what she doesn't put ketchup on it or something.
No, she puts ketchup.
She
on
puts
it.
ketchup on it, so he slid up like Hinge pickup line saying like ketchup on your hot dog's crazy, and then she like had a little jokey response. Then he doubled down, was like, "No, you're like really sick for putting ketchup on it." I think she had like another like soft trying to transition. He doubled down again. She's like, "Can we please leave the hot dog?"
This is with you.
Yes.
Why were you harping on her using ketchup on a hot
I
dog?
said I
I'm
was
not
like,
gonna lie. I really kind of backed myself into a corner after I doubled down the first time. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'm
it
not
was
gonna.
insane.
I'm not
Guess
gonna
so.
link with you." So
I've
might as
never,
well-
I've never had someone beg me to change the
She was
conversation
like-
over text.
She was like, "Can you please? Can we drop it?" I was like, "My bad."
That's funny.
You went too far, and then
I did go too far. I
Yeah.
did go far. But speaking of, well, you want to go your story first?
Oh,
yeah.
hi, my name's Mason Owens. If you don't remember me,
This is Mason Owens. I'm DJ Morale.
I'm Jacob.
I don't know. We try to get Andrew.
Yeah,
He's.
I'm just friend of the show.
Yeah.
It's still you, Mason, and Andrew. I'm just the,
Bro, you know
the
this
token.
You know what this motherfucker did to me today?
Talk to me.
I woke up, right? So I go on Instagram. You never had a girl that you had a past thing with, and like, it's very like you have strong feelings for it. It's
All the
still
time. Every single one.
Every single one. And it's still a touchy subject for you, right? Not a touchy subject, but it's like
in certain areas.
It's a touchy subject.
It's a little bit, it's still a little new. So she posts a bikini photo, right?
Okay.
I go through, I'd like the photo, whatever. Just keep it pushing. Because when you Instagram, you liking shit. I don't think anything of it again. I'm good. I get a DM like an hour later. This nigga sends me the post. I'm like with the covered eyes emoji. And I was like, why would I?
just a stir?
I was
So,
like, why would you
in
send
my
me that?
defense, right? There was multiple things. I saw it. I said, "Oh, who is this? They look kind of good." And I was like, saw the name. I was like, "Oh shit, this is DJ's like old little thing." And then I was like, saw him in the likes. I was like, "Oh, if he liked it, like he's not gonna be tripping." And I thought to myself, is it fucked up if I send her looking good? And then I thought back to the many times any girl that I've ever talked to makes a post and he sent it to me. So I was like,
Oh, you've done
that's
this.
our
In the
relationship.
You've done this in the
So then I
past.
sent it to
So
him.
this isn't just some. This isn't just some one-off.
Literally,
Yeah, you're right.
he
This
has
has been-
he has sent me girls who literally rejected me. As like, yeah, you should spin back on that. Brother, I can't.
I can't.
I can't.
No, that's
Okay.
fair. It was a fair. It was funny. I was more just like, like I ruined my
That's fair.
day for like a good like.
It was
10
early. It was
minutes.
like 11 too. It was like the start of his day.
You know
Okay,
why?
no.
You know why I love Mason?
Why?
I love Mason because like you have no in certain areas, certain respect, like you have
Mhm.
no shame. And I'm not saying that you should. It's good that you don't have any shame.
Right.
Like it's good. Like you stand on it. And the best example of that is we're at Zach and Malik's the other night before we ended up going out, and you had put on the vlog on the TV.
Oh yeah,
And there had been a couple different times in which you had put the vlog on the TV at my apartment. So I said out loud, I go, yeah, I've probably seen this vlog maybe like 3 or 4 times.
yeah.
One, when you first dropped it. 2, when you played it for a group of people the first time.
Yeah.
The third time when you played it for a group of people the second time. And so Mason from across the room goes, man, you're just doing tricks on it. Like,
oh, I didn't hear him say that.
and
I didn't hear
and
him
then
say
it's just hilarious to hear him say that. And then fast forward to maybe 2 hours and maybe 3 drinks later,
Yeah.
where you were showing somebody Lewis Hamilton's Instagram, and you were like, his aura is insane. The trip's insane. Like, can you just see this man? And we're just going through photo by photo by photo.
Bro,
And I'm like, man, he's got no shame. The duality is crazy.
Because the thing is, Lewis Hamilton does have crazy aura, but
Lewis
it's like,
Hamilton is not DJ's vlogs.
but that's what I'm saying. It's like it's
Right?
DJ's
Come on
vlog.
now.
Like you
Yeah.
live with him. Like
Yeah.
you see the vlog in real time. Like what do you need to watch it 3 times for? Like
It's
and watching
cinema.
vlogs is
Yeah.
weird in general.
It's cinema, bro.
I was gonna make a video about this earlier. Like I don't understand how people watch streams. You're sitting there watching a group of people just sit in a room and talk to each other, like
Well, it depends on the type of
Well,
stream
not
you're
doing
talking
anything
about.
productive.
But you could break that.
This-
If it's not anything productive and they're just, if it's like a David Dobrik vlog, I understand where you're coming from.
Right.
I mean, I'm watching men talk about basketball.
Yeah, but like that's like you're seeing someone's perspective on a topic you're interested
That's
in.
true.
Like
That's
what do I want to watch the dude from around the
Like the-
corner go to the
yeah.
beach for?
Like,
Like
You
yeah.
talk about
I'm
like
gonna go to the beach.
IRL streamers type shit. Like,
yeah, like
yeah.
I
Or like even
like
Kai
watching
Cenat.
Kai's clips, but those are
Yeah.
the funniest, like most engaging parts. Like
Well, it's just little
Yeah.
kids. There's no grown men aren't sitting there watching Kai Cenat, like stream. If you are, what's wrong with you? But like, I think majority of them is like teenage kids like that want to watch it. You know, that's whatever though. So what was it? You said you had a story for us to open it up. I feel like most of our podcasts are been about just wild stories.
Yeah.
man.
Good recipe. No, the both of you will like this, and I'm shocked I didn't. I'm glad I saved it, but I'm shocked I didn't tell you guys beforehand.
Can I say one thing? before
Yeah,
you say
no, of course,
sorry?
go
I
ahead.
do understand the irony of me sitting here on a podcast talking about why do people just watch other people do things. I will acknowledge that I do understand,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like I don't know. It's interesting conversation.
Because then our
versus
viewers are
someone
gonna be like,
just
"You're right. I gotta turn this off."
but
Go outside for a walk. I'm gonna go ride my bike.
but no,
I'm not
please.
gonna listen to these guys.
I'm very intrigued to hear the story.
So, okay. So, I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, like they're all over me. This happens all the time." But once in a blue moon, I will get hit on by a gay guy. And especially living in Boys Town during Pride, if I go with a couple friends to Pride, like you'll get a look your way, or just stuff like that. And so I'm working a basketball camp, and I go out of town, so we're not in Chicago, and I'm staying at a hotel outside of the camp. And every day we'll wake up, have breakfast at like 7 a.m., and then go to the camp. First day comes, and there's this guy in the lobby who when I was first talking to him, it's your typical like car salesman where you're like what the fuck is this guy so happy?
Right.
Like it's a little like off. Like
Yeah.
surely this guy isn't that happy at 7 a.m., 7:30 in the morning,
Right.
mind you. And so I walk in, and he is like walking around the breakfast and walking around like the breakfast station in the hotel lobby, but he's not like a minimum wage worker. Like this is like your higher up, like assistant GM or director of food and beverage or whatever his title is, but he's
Right.
definitely like on salary.
Right.
I walk in, and he's like, "Hey, how's everything going? I'm his name. Nice to meet you." And so we start talking, and I'm just being friendly, thinking nothing of it. He went to the University of Alabama, so we're talking about Alabama football, and he was there during some of the championship years, so we're just talking about that.
Damn.
He's asking me questions about coaching basketball, and he's asking me questions about like what I'm doing at the camp, and et cetera, et cetera. He hands me a goodie bag, and it's like your typical hotel goodie bag. It's like water, Swedish fish, gingerbread cookies, trail mix.
Where do you go?
Yeah,
I've never
what's
I've
the-
never
like-
gotten that before.
Okay, I'm not. I did make it seem like it was normal, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like high end. It was just like a thing of Swedish fish and like
Mhm.
a couple cookies.
Right.
And so day one goes by, nothing happens. Day two happens. I go down to the lobby. He's like, "Hey, Jacob, how's everything going?" And I'm not thinking to myself like, "Oh, he's trying to hit on me." I'm just thinking like, "Oh, he's just probably friendly." I have a really bad time saying no to people who ask for my Instagram in the moment, because I've always relied on I can just block or unfollow. It's really like not that deep.
Yeah.
And like sometimes in the moment I don't say like, "No, I don't have an Instagram," or "No, I'm not going to give it to you." Like I'm just like, "Yeah, JakeRob2K," like whatever. He asked me for my Instagram. I give it to him. I go up into the hotel lobby. I grab my basketball shoes. I come back down as we're waiting, like kind of as a group, but we're not together. Like I'm still separate from them. So I'm approachable. When he comes over to me and he kind of like playfully hits me on the side and he goes, "Hey, found your Instagram." In the moment I go, "Oh, no." Because that kind of, I'm like, okay, I kind of see where this is coming.
Yeah.
I have a good grasp on men's game, and men have no game. You guys got some game,
Fair enough.
Little bit.
I have no game
a
whatsoever.
little bit, but for the most part, men have no game.
Yeah.
And so I'm texting my friend Ellie, and I'm like, I know exactly what's gonna come. He's gonna start liking posts. He likes every single post on my.
Oh,
I post the group pic of me and the campers, and that meme about how, and we'll get into that. Like, I'll definitely talk about this because I definitely want to make a point of it. But I post like 2 posts on my stories. He likes both stories. And then the kicker
is a band
was,
place.
mind you, we're not in Chicago.
Yeah.
The kicker was he posts on his Instagram story like 4 photos in a collage of Chicago at night with the caption, "Love this city, so beautiful at night." Like, such a gorgeous city. So he's trying to get me to engage.
Right.
We're not in Chicago. What are you doing posting random photos of a city that you find beautiful? Like, would you ever post like photos of Montreal? Like, man, I miss this city. Like, it's just so he's trying to get me to engage. Mind you,
Yeah.
he's 41.
Oh,
Yeah, he's 41.
I was gonna say something about this behavior feels too shameless to be a peer. Like,
I knew where it was because of his profile photo, and then I clicked on his following. Like, the argument of, well, how do you know he was gay? I click his following, and it's washboard abs, washboard abs, washboard abs, like down the line, and like gay pride flags in the bio. And so it was just so funny. So
be an ally.
So I block him. I block him. I have one more day.
Oh wow!
I have one more.
You can remove him as a follower. You know that, right?
Nah, I just no.
right.
Oh, he's already seen your Instagram, so you have to
like,
get rid
yeah,
of
you'll definitely know why. So
Yeah.
I have one day left.
him. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna go to breakfast. I'm gonna avoid him.
Right.
Oh, 100%.
I skip breakfast. I go through the lobby. I see him, but he doesn't see me because
Yeah.
his head's turned.
Right.
Yeah.
I leave. I go out the lobby. I take a right, go to the parking lot. It's not like my car is within earshot of where within view of where breakfast is.
Mhm.
So I go to my car. I pop the trunk. I put my suitcase in, and then I hear behind me, "Hey, Jacob," and he follows me. He followed me out the lobby, over into the parking lot, walked to the parking lot, and walked up to my car. Hands me a 3rd goodie bag in 3 days. And
I
he-
would have ate that. None of that.
and
I
he
wouldn't-
startled me. I didn't.
I would
He
eat it.
he
I wouldn't
startled.
trust it.
He startled me. So now I'm pissed because
Right.
like I'm caught off guard. He's not taking a hint,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
he starts asking me like, "You think you're gonna come back? Like, you got any more camps that you're working?
Yeah.
Oh, last day." And every single time I tell him, "No, no, no, thanks, no." And anytime there's like a
Much like sauce I'm willing to use.
I had to clap again.
what do you eat your hot dog with?
Just plain.
You eat just plain hot
Yeah,
dog.
and that's
He doesn't use
the
condiments,
same
bro.
reaction. And I was just like, that's funny. My friend, when I told him, he was like, I don't see what's funny. You just like her. I said, okay, I'm sorry. Fuck me, I guess.
You know, yeah. When I started thinking about it, I was like, you said like men don't really have game, and I thought about like
Not that.
Men have no game.
what? Because
Some men
some of that
do.
game is just like following someone on Instagram and liking stories. You know what I
Some
mean?
men have game.
Some men have game. I have game.
You do have game.
Men, I
yeah,
appreciate
you
that.
have, yeah, you have game.
Men have.
He doesn't have game.
What are you
I
talking
think
You
the both
don't
of-
have game.
I think the both of you have game.
How do I don't
you,
have game?
you are one of my friends that benefits from looking good. You
That's-
don't have game. You
Okay,
don't have
I mean,
game.
yes, I look good.
You
but
literally,
like,
you literally, you literally
I think
like
the-
were texting some girl about what she puts on her hot dog.
that's not
Going on 3 days.
No, no, that's not serious. That's not like if I can
legacy,
really-
legacy on the line, or if it's serious time.
to all the women that I have, nah, that's crazy. That's to all the women I've interacted with. Can you let me know if I have game?
I like the thing is just like I
Like,
talk to you in real life, and the things that you tell me is like if I was a girl, I'm not fucking you, but you look good, so sure, yeah, I'd drop my panties.
oh,
Whoa! Why do you have that reaction?
I love how you just did the Squidward. Why?
Listen.
Why? Come on, guys.
Guys, like, okay, let me put it this way, okay? I've interacted with people
Mhm.
where like I didn't enjoy the conversation. But I was like, you look good. I'm gonna give you 10,000 more tries, and then yeah, I dropped my draws for them. Like I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna lie.
I don't necessarily.
No,
No.
No, I mean,
No.
yeah, I mean, it just depends
Sorry.
on what the interaction. I think it's like a case by case basis. And when I say men have no game, I think it's just because you guys, like, just not you guys as you, but just people in general rely on the looks. But then you're just gonna drive that person up a wall
let's rewind. Let's not act like I look like Keith Powers. Nigga. Like I don't just. I do need to put a little bit of game into it. Like I can't just.
Do I think that you're like
I'll just walk up.
do I
and
think
women
that
just
you're like a
oh.
creep or that you like
That's not what I-
scare
okay,
women
that's not
away?
what I
No, but like I'm telling you, if I'm on a first date and you start talking to me about, oh my god, I love Percy Jackson,
Why
like
would
I'm
I
gonna be
do-
like,
First of all,
oh.
first of
you
all,
know,
no,
I
women
would
are not getting the
disagree.
ick
I
from
would-
that.
Yeah, I would disagree.
Women
I
are
don't
not getting
think
the ick from
that-
that.
I don't. Yeah, I
You
think that
get
would
the
be,
ick
yeah,
from that.
yeah, yeah.
that's my point though. Is like I like well, okay. The thing
Goodness.
every time I hang out with him or talk to him, I always come to the conclusion we just have different types and we are
Yeah.
just different people.
But I would also
because-
say,
Oh,
thank goodness, I love who you are, but I do think that if you were a woman, you wouldn't give any man the type of day.
that's not true.
Like,
That's not true.
Because if you're
That's not
saying,
true at all.
if we were just nitpicking DJ's strategies, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, Mason is picky as a man. I just wonder if
What?
as a woman he would just be
I
just as picky.
yeah.
That's-
And not
no,
give,
he would
it's
be.
Not
Listen,
a bad. It's not a
listen.
bad thing. It's more humorful than.
I guess that is fair because when people ask the question
Humorous.
of your friends who would you date, I always think I don't know that I would date any of them.
because you know how.
I think
You know
that
how they
DJ I see, you know, he's still one of my good friends. Like I see the like good qualities. It's just like I don't know that I would
But-
be able to be laying in bed and go from Star Wars to Marvel to Percy
don't
Jackson
talk
in a
about
row.
that with
Like I just
women.
couldn't be
Okay.
able to do
No,
it.
you need to
I
relax.
can't
'cause
speak on this.
That's not true. No, you mean to tell me you've never got close enough to a girl where you've talked about your interests like that? Like
in depth of like Star Wars. Sadly, okay, I have never had like a serious relationship, but like, so, but like, nah, it's not like a.
don't say sadly.
No.
No, it's say it. It's like I wasn't gonna
You sound like a
laugh.
slut, low key. I don't.
How many buddies you got?
How many buddies
No,
do
I'm
I
joking.
have?
I know I'm not, sex positive. How clever you are, brother.
I don't. He probably has more than I do.
We know
I
he
don't
does.
think I don't I don't think that well it also depends. I don't know. Obviously I don't know how you text
Yeah,
women.
Yeah.
So,
I don't.
Obviously
talk
like I
about
don't
that.
think like just bring like you are the two people that
Yeah.
I know are
he
huge
would
Marvel
do that
fans.
shit. He would do that.
Are
shit.
you confident in saying that? Are you confident like
We know he did it. He talked to for 3 hours about fucking Star Wars.
yeah, I just
I
wonder
feel like we should
Yeah.
just start over.
We'll cut that part out or bleep a couple names.
yeah.
When I talk to women, unless they have a common interest of like those things like that, then I'll bring it up. I can talk about so many other things
Yeah.
besides like.
Oh wow.
They're
Percy
both of you guys,
Jackson,
yeah,
Marvel,
they're both
Star
of you
Wars.
guys do.
And first of all, talking about Star Wars raises my blood pressure, so I don't want to talk about.
Okay.
it.
Yeah. I like
I love it
Why?
and hate it. It's a love hate relationship with that franchise.
and the funny
first
thing
6.
is
Huh?
I like the faction of people that are like Star Wars is just 6. I just ignore whatever happened post the first 6.
Even the first 6, I probably. But we don't. Have
Fair
to-
enough. But anyways, you were saying Mason.
but I mean, I say all this to say, like, I also have like anime tattoos and like talk about it and
You're
stuff.
weirder
So
than
like,
me.
see, this is where
We're
you
doing a weird
lose
off.
me. This is where
We're
you
doing
lose
a
me.
weird
No,
off. Can't talk to
because-
women off.
No. Because this is the real thing. My friends and like the people that I grew up with are much meaner than the people that you grew up with. And so I had to hide these things. I had to keep them indoors. You guys understand. I still get made fun of to this day about anime. Anime's made mainstream. Like I can't talk
don't
about
know my
things
friends.
too much.
He's
And
saying,
I
We're having a
appreciate
mean
them
friend
for
off.
it. No, because like if I didn't have people making fun of me for doing really weird shit when I was a kid, I would be a loser. Like in the nicest way possible. Those people, congratulations if
That's
you
what
want
you're
to
saying,
do
like,
that.
tough
But like I
and you-
probably wouldn't have really any relationship experience. I wouldn't be friends with you guys. I would just be in my room, like
I'm not.
gooning and watching anime. If I didn't have people to like laugh at me.
Yeah.
And so all I'm saying is when I hear DJ like sit there and like proudly, confidently talk about how his phone is named after Percy Jackson's sword. If I literally try to tell someone like, oh, like I really love, I'm about to get this anime tattoo. Oh, you fucking weirdo! I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, see, that
Some
like,
people get to love
The one
things in
thing I was gonna
public.
say, I'm not like fully serious when I say this, but it's just funny to me. Mason does the whole like, nah, this toughened me, this hardened me, made me who I am.
because it did.
But I couldn't get him to complete a full club career.
because you gotta
No,
get-
I'm not, I'm
you gotta come to a realization what's worth it. You know what I'm saying?
And you deemed, and that's fair. You
No,
deemed it to
yeah.
be worth it.
It was,
Yeah.
it was
And so
fine.
yeah, you were gonna stick through it.
My thing with like
That's
the
funny.
whole like like nerd stuff and like you just brought out the phone. Like that doesn't come up in conversation unless
It
someone's
would
like,
come
let
up
me
in
airdrop you something.
conversation.
And I'm like, oh, what's the name of your phone? And I tell them, they're like, what is that?
Or you want to connect
If
to
you don't mind me
Bluetooth.
asking,
Yeah.
what's the longest? We're not gonna put a label on it.
Mhm.
Girlfriend situation. What's been the longest? Even if it's been like on and off. Trust me, like
You're asking
I'm.
him,
No,
right?
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. I'll
I yeah. How long?
uh, 2 years. This is the last one. The last one was 2 years.
Two
Yeah.
years. Okay.
Well, like not like we're dating, but just like talking to someone.
Sure.
Invested
So I promise I promise I do have a point with it. So 2 years.
yeah.
At what point would you say that like you were more out of your shell than in your shell with her?
Ooh, like was I comfortable with her? Like enough
Yeah.
to be myself?
So all this to ask you, at what point in the 2 year process
Where's I?
was she like, this guy's a nerd?
That's probably why
if
she was like,
if that's what
nah.
you're saying
Yeah.
about like, well, at what point? Like, you
Uh,
think you were out of your shell relatively quickly, or
I think. Well, when you go out, you get a little alcohol in your system. You're more freely yourself.
sure,
So probably like
sure,
the fourth or fifth link, I was more like my goofy self. But even
Yeah.
then, like that's still, I'm not fully goofy until
Yeah.
like I really get comfortable. And like
So
that
at
situation was like,
what point do
there
you
was
think you were
like,
fully?
at what point would I do
Yeah.
it? Like, I guess I don't know what I want to say. Like at least a month in. Like a month
Okay.
in, I'd be
That's
like
good.
my
That's
full
nice.
goofy.
What
self.
was your longest? At what point where you think you were like out of your shell? She knew who you were, not what any like persona or
My longest relationship came out of me being we were friends first and like got really close as friends, and like anyone who's my friend knows that I'm probably one of the weirdest,
Yeah.
goofiest people
Yeah.
you'll come across. So it was like from off the jump, I was pretty
Gotcha.
like once we started dating, and we dated on and off for 2 years. I will say, okay, I don't want to sit here and act like I hate weird people or nerds. I
No,
am a
no,
weird
no, yeah,
person.
no,
And,
yeah.
like these interests don't make you weird. They're just different than a lot of mainstream stuff. But all I'm saying is just like, and this is to my point of why I've realized we're just different or have different types, I guess you could
Yeah.
say, is because like the things that I think I talk about a lot, or like my things would be like anime, my like philosophy, like psychology, mental health, like shit. Like I really love those types of conversations, like those type of things. I could see some girls, and they have said this to like my guy friends, like, oh, like why are you asking so many questions about me, like this, that, and the third. So
Yeah.
it's just different people, different
Yeah,
strokes for different folks.
different
I just want to
cases.
clarify that, okay?
And I get
Oh,
why
like-
there's not a standard blueprint as
Yeah.
to when you would get out of your
I
shell. It
just
depends
don't-
on the
no.
person.
I would start being like, okay, like I don't want to talk about Black Panther anymore because I feel that way as your friend.
What about you? When is it like you really open up?
People know I suck within 20 minutes. I'm starting. It doesn't matter if it's
First impression.
yeah, I'm already
terrible.
bantering about this sucks and that sucks. No, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I would say I think I'm always out of my shell. It just is a matter of what we're specifically talking about in terms of like past issues or trauma or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. I would say that like I'm relatively who I am with you guys is who I would be
Yeah.
talking to a girl or talking to my parents or anything like that. It just in terms of like personal anecdotes and
Yeah.
like stories and past history and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That'll be like
See,
a certain time frame.
I like the trauma dump is always a big thing because like you never want to fully, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I learned
people-
and I learned the hard part that there was a girl, the last girl that I was like really excited about was my senior year,
Yeah.
and it we were working at
Yeah.
at the Ray together and stuff like that, and she had trauma dumped like relatively quickly, and I didn't really think anything of it in the moment, because in the moment I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is awesome, she's comfortable, she's telling me about this and that and this and that, and looking back on it, it was just, I guess, her testing me out and then using that, not like intentionally, but she was using it as like, let me restart. The best way I can describe it is, even though she was trauma dumping like initially, it was the actions afterwards that made how quick she was trauma dumping not okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
okay if you're gonna open up and be vulnerable. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. But if you're being vulnerable, it's the strategy of, I'm okay with you being vulnerable 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
if you're going to be vulnerable 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be vulnerable 2 weeks in, and then by week 4 saying, "Why do you want a relationship?" I don't see it that way.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's where I'm like,
Yeah.
well, what do you mean?
flag,
You
red
just
flag,
I think
red
like
flag, red
I
flag.
think a couple of things. One, I think like to your point of how you're just naturally yourself and like the anecdote things. I think that's a good approach, and that's what I'm trying to get more towards. Just because it's like I've tried to be like a little bit more reserved with my personality, and then when things end quick, I'm like, damn, you didn't even get to know like the real me, and like I know I'm an enjoyable person, like you know what I mean.
Right.
But I was gonna say like
That's a good
one
point.
thing that I think, and maybe everyone else realized this. I think I've like hello. No,
3
one
inches max.
what?
3
Oh,
inches
that's
max.
crazy.
I hate when people do
That's
that.
so crazy.
So that's my coping line.
But I was gonna say, like, I think in my head, I always thought of like rebounds as being like you just want to get someone new in there just to like get the other person out of your head or whatever.
Mhm.
But I think sometimes people use like rebounds or other people as like a little quick therapy session. Like
That's a very
I
good
want
point.
like, oh, this guy is
Making
willing
sure
to
I'm not
like he likes
crazy.
me, wants to talk about these things. Let me open up and get all these feelings that I've had out.
Yeah.
And then when in actuality they just wanted like it was talking to anybody to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like you were like, oh, we're really bonding and sharing these moments.
Mhm.
In actuality, they were just like, I want someone to listen to me. Which
Yeah.
and like because a lot of people, and I'm not trying to like overanalyze that girl or anybody, but in my experiences, this is kind of how I perceive some things. Is like I think people like we don't know how to have certain type of conversations with people that aren't our significant others,
Yeah.
like especially the heavier stuff. So if you have this person who's cuddling you and holding you and like listens because you like her or whatever, like I'd feel more intrigued to like tell them how I'm feeling than like call DJ up and be like, yeah, like this relationship was, you know what I mean?
So that's interesting that you say that, because I was gonna say, like, whenever that happens, like, man, you can't, you got no friends to talk to about that. Like, why aren't you talking to your
Yeah,
friends
because you
about
call
that?
your niggas up
Why-
talking about you sad, they don't
Yeah.
flame you or like
Right.
you know.
Well, then, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I said my book. I was talking about it Mason about like you're talking about the male loneliness epidemic, whatever, something like that, and like can't talk to your friends about some real shit. Like
Yeah.
I was
Man,
drunk
who-
coming home on like Friday night, and I sent my niggas a video. I was like, bro, I seen a couple walking down the street. I just want to have someone to hold me. Type shit.
Oh man.
These niggas, I wake up to the text like, LOL, what the fuck wrong with you, bro? Trauma dumping.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all gonna come at me in my vulnerable moment? What the fuck?
Yeah, bro, it's real shit. Like people one undervalue like friendship and being able to talk to your friends about these things, but also like on the flip side, they overemphasize a romantic partner being that. Like just
Yeah.
thinking about it, like I've had more serious conversations quicker with girls that I was like talking to or sleeping with or whatever because that felt more natural than calling up my friend who like I see every day and being like, yo, like this is some really like real shit I'm going through. You know what I mean? I don't know. And once again, maybe I'm just thinking too deeply about it. But
No, that's real. I mean, I think a part of it too is like when you open up to somebody, like especially like a significant other, like and a girl, like it's you're now being very like open to them, and then now say that ends, like that's just someone that holds a piece of you,
oh
and it's
yeah.
like damn, like I
But
was
if
really
it's-
vulnerable, and that shit ended. It's
Yes,
like, fuck.
Yeah.
but if it's a good person, it's not like it's gonna come back to bite you.
Yeah, everyone I
Yeah,
know is terrible.
But
people,
that's the
so.
thing is like
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
not even, not even the coming back to bite you though, but like it's just like a part of you just feels, in my experience at least, just feels like something was lost. Like
stolen.
they might not tell their friends or they might not bring it back in my face, but it's like I
Does
was
that-
vulnerable with you and now you're gone.
But
Like
does that
it's like I don't know.
that doesn't diminish who you are, though.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it just hurts, I guess.
It's I was
Okay,
more
so,
talking
so,
about,
then,
like,
so then, so then,
You know?
yeah.
I
So
was more talking about, like
I
it's
said-
it's harder to do that again. Once
Yeah.
it
I would
happens,
say
it's
that's
like
true.
harder to keep doing that over and
You
over. And
think
I probably
so?
girls feel the same way
Oh,
with
it's hard as
guys. Like I think it's just
fuck.
a human
I
thing,
think
you know.
timing, yes. Timing, yes.
Because it's like the way.
But you'll
you're an
get
emotional slut.
you'll get there though.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Oh no, yeah. I
I
mean,
think-
it's just the right person's got to do it.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
I'm not. Yeah. Even if I had 5 breakups, I'm not like
Yeah.
with the 6th. I'm like, I
Well,
don't know.
Here's the thing, like in terms of like I think about the first girl like, I really like had like, deep feelings for. Like I opened up to, didn't go well. Right, we weren't speaking. Like we still don't really speak, but like that part was I felt like it's gone. Like I'll never get that shit back.
Yeah.
And it's now like I feel like I'm a little bit. It takes a little bit more for me to open up to somebody.
Mhm.
And sometimes
Yeah.
women like that's a red flag to them. Like, oh, he's not really emotionally open. It's like, well, no, it's not necessarily that. It's just I'm very cautious about it because I don't want to just open up to anybody.
I will also say, you guys also make a good point. I've never been in love before, And so I think I don't know, like in college, like I've casted a wide net of people who I was talking to, both
Yeah.
platonically, like romantically, just friends, stuff like that. And so I would probably agree with that and what some of the not saying I disagree, but I would definitely it would resonate a little bit more had I put like all of my stock into one person
Yeah.
Yeah.
one time
Yeah.
and was like deeply in love and then it
Yeah.
didn't work out and then I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
I get that.
I think the thing for me is like, and it's something I especially see with men, but I think it stopped recording again. I'm just gonna say this thought. Should I say it or should I hold it?
Low battery.
Yeah. If you want to use mine.
It's still going.
Okay.
Battery.
Okay.
Gotcha.
The thing that I was gonna say is I can say that I see a lot in men just because those are what are closer to me, and I have these conversations with. But I think it applies to everyone. To DJ's point of like opening up again is like having those conversations about real feelings or things that even just mean something to you. Like I don't watch my favorite shows with women because it's like if you're gone tomorrow, I don't want to think about you when I watch my favorite thing, right? It's like me opening up about something that's either hard to talk about or means a lot to me, and then now you're gone. It's like now I have to do this again with someone else. Like I don't want
Very
to do
true.
that, especially if you're just gonna be gone. Because like part of the reason why it's so great to like have you guys as friends or my friends from like childhood is like we've had these shared memories and experiences, and they know parts of me where it's like when I talk to them, it's like you understand why I'm thinking X, Y, and Z because of A,
I've
B, and
seen
C. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a different bond, and it's like once I've tried to build that and then it's gone. It's like I don't feel like trying to like, re-explain things. Like my family's a very good example. Like I have a cousin who doesn't talk to me, and so when people or like I'm not close to some of my extended family, so when I try to like tell people things about the family dynamics, like I got to explain like all of these elements that lead into it when I just wanted to say like, hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then it's like I just get more and more reserved because like now I don't want to talk about family. Now I don't want to talk about school. Now I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard. Is all I'm saying.
You could always have the cocky point of view of everybody should be happy they're in my grace. So I'm not thinking of it as, oh man, I have to do this. It's like, yeah, I get another person comes along and they get to enjoy how fantastic I am.
Yeah.
So I'm really just benefiting people. It's not like it's a
Like
I
no,
mean,
that's real as fuck. Honestly, I think that's what I'm starting to get with it. Where like I don't even care to go. Like
yeah.
we could go on one date and never talk again. At least have a fun story now. Like I got to kick it
Yeah.
with someone.
Yeah.
And that
like,
person got to go on
you
a
know
date
what
with
I
you.
mean?
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
better off going on the date with you.
Yeah.
And I would love it if the woman's perspective is, I just made his day. He went on a date with me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think dates are. I mean, yeah, dates are the plus side of it. It's like you get to experience that over and over again.
It's a very,
That's also how I view like talking stages and stuff like that.
yeah.
Do you
I'm
guys
like, yeah.
do you guys separate? Because like, I think people don't realize like dating is different from the talking stage.
I think when we're and
Right.
maybe I'm wrong. I think when we're all in our 40s
Mm-hmm.
and 50s, God willing, and we like reflect back on it, I think there's going to be certain things in certain aspects where like, what were we doing? What do you mean talking stage?
Yeah.
Like, even though this person wasn't my girlfriend,
Yeah.
no, we were dating
Yeah.
because we were going
Oh,
through
yeah,
all like the
yeah.
relationship stuff like that. Like the
100%.
whole like talking stage. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh well, me and this person, yeah, we just talk. If we were just texting and we never went on a date, we never did
Right.
anything further than just go on a date, then I understand. Yeah, we just texted a couple times while.
Yeah.
But I would never be like, oh, we're talking. Like, no, you're
But
dating.
I think even to that point though, as soon as we go on one date, we're talking. Like in the
Yeah.
grand scheme of
We're
things.
dating.
And then yeah, I would say that, but I know a lot of people get like weird about stuff. But I would like because the thing for me is like if I just go on one date or we just text for a couple days, like I would just tell people like, oh, you know, we texted for a little bit. Like that's the title. We texted for a little bit, like
Sure.
nothing crazy.
I say we went on a couple.
But,
We're going on dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I look at it as like you have the talking stages where you're talking, getting to know somebody, right? If you know them a little bit, right? And then dating, which is like when you're going on dates. So like that first date can overlap into the talking stage.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then once you're going on like a couple dates, now you're dating somebody.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
Ask
the
to
relationship
be
when you finally
girlfriend.
ask them to be your boyfriend,
Right.
girlfriend relationship, right?
Yeah.
Because you can date multiple people at the same time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Can I
know
ask you guys a question?
what?
Do you guys think it's bad and or like I mean no, maybe not bad, you know, to each their own. Everyone has their own dating things. Do you think it's a problem to like you know people like casual, like just hooking up or whatever?
Yeah.
If you like casual dating, if that makes sense. Like
Like, what
you
do you
like
mean?
spending time with people, and like going to the movies or going bowling or whatever. But it's like no real like you're not my only girl. Like you're not gonna meet my mom. You know what I mean?
You're asking if I like that,
Is it
Like,
like
do you
is it
think
messed
that's
up?
like it's like yeah? Like, do you think
as
there's a
opposed to just
negative connotation?
honing in and focusing on one person and tuning out
Or
all
like,
as long
what's
as
the
you're-
al-
I
what's
don't
the
know.
alternative?
Like,
As
say
long as
like
you're
say like
communicating.
you're hooking up with the girl and like you guys just hook up and that's it. Like that's just your guys' vibe. What if that's and like there's no end goal of dating? What's it's the same thing, but you want to go out in like public with them? But it's like I don't really want you to like come meet the fam bam.
That's a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie. If some girl was a comfortable with me, like we're talking for a while, we're dating for a while,
Right.
but she has no intentions of showing me to her parents. How long we been going? How long? Is
Well,
it
I
going?
mean, it's like
Are we in a relationship or what? Or
it's just food for thought because I have friends who do like stuff like that.
As long as you're communicated from the jump of like, I know
Okay.
this is nothing serious.
So she's telling you this is nothing serious. I don't want a boyfriend, but then you guys will like go bowling, go on like a tour of Chicago together, like do like real date relationship shit,
It's only on the guy
Yeah.
who she's telling at that point if he is
right?
continue to do those things because she's already set
Yeah.
what it is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
500 days of summer. That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
You set what it is. Like this is
Right.
what we're doing, and you can't now 6 months later be like, well, what the fuck?
Interesting.
And you get mad when she like ends things or like it's like, well, we're not dating or
Yeah.
I'm never gonna marry you type shit. Like
Yeah.
she told you from the jump.
No, I feel that way. I was just curious. I've seen a lot of discourse on these things.
I really enjoy it when I'm on the same page with that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anytime I'm not on that same page with the person, I've learned that I can't just go through it
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
ignore it
Yeah.
and just focus on, well, I'm in her presence,
Yeah.
so you know what, I'm gonna continue, because then you're just setting yourself up for heartbreak. And I learned
Yeah.
that the hard way.
It's on. It's. I mean, you can say too. It's on the girl for like. I mean, you can say it's emotionally manipulative to do it, but like at the
If
same
there's
time,
no communication
if
and
there's
you're
no
not,
communication.
yeah.
But if she told you it,
Yeah.
right, or like say like
she said
you
what it
told
is.
a
You
girl
said
like
what it is.
this
Yeah.
is what it is,
Yeah.
you can't get mad
Yeah.
at me.
And
from
and I
now
think
on.
and I think the only caveat is it's when one of the duo starts to develop more feelings
Right.
and then they bite their tongue and don't speak on it.
Yeah.
That's where it goes very slippery, because
Interesting.
then you're like, yeah, no, I'm okay with this, when in
Yeah,
reality
you're
you're
really
like,
not.
no, you're not okay with
Yeah.
this.
But like,
And you would
yeah.
and some people would rather just continue to do it because you're in the presence of that person,
Uh-huh.
as opposed to just cutting it off in the moment.
I mean, I know you went through that where like in
Yeah.
the moment it's like, and I went through the same shit. I know.
I went
think you
through
had
it.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I went
It's,
through that.
it's where like you think it's fine, right? And
Yeah.
then it ends, and you're like, fuck that person, right? Fuck them. They did me dirty. Then like maybe a couple months, a year go by, you're like, wait, why was I ever mad at them? They like that's not their fault. They told me what it was from the jump.
I wasn't really mad at them. I was more mad at the situation.
I mean, the
Personally, personally,
you can be mad at the
personally.
situation, but
Yeah,
like
I'm
I was
not
just
mad
like,
at
damn,
the-
that sucks.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm mad at the lack of communication
yeah,
and what I put up
Yeah.
with, because it was great to begin with.
to begin with, yeah.
So I thought it was just
Yeah.
going to balance out and go back to where it was,
Yeah.
and it was never going to go back to where it
that
was.
Yeah.
false hope will only get you so
Yeah,
far.
I think,
big
like,
dog.
Yeah,
I think the hard part about it is just like, as people, I feel like this is when I reflect on that situation or like things I hear about like my friends and stuff now. It's like we're often told actions speak louder than words, and so it's like I think that's part of the reason why people are willing to convince themselves different things. But sometimes them louds be or those words be loud as fuck.
yeah, and
yeah.
it's interesting.
And the action's just a sweet whisper in your ear.
Yeah.
And we can say too, because we're not only victims in a situation like where we've done it to the opposite.
That's
and
what I'm
it's
saying.
blown up in our face.
Yes.
But like,
Yeah. I
Um,
feel like I
Or-
think
or
that
just me.
those women those women are perfectly valid to be mad at me and have their own feelings. Sure, you're justified your own feelings. I don't understand where I'm in the wrong. I told you explicitly when we were doing things that I thought were weird. I was like, "You don't think this is weird? No, it's fine. Let's just do it." Okay,
Were you
like
giving out
I
forehead
guess.
kisses while you're doing it?
Huh?
Were you giving out forehead kisses while you're doing
No.
it?
That's where we
we
mess
have
up.
different. It's different, but that's all I'm saying is just like
Well-
I'm never gonna be like, yeah, I was 100% wrong. Like if I really felt that way and I could tell that she liked me, I probably should have done things differently. But I was very explicit every chance I could in all the situations that I end up.
Are
She's
there
a
with.
healthy
people-
form of Delulu.
So
We
are
all
there
been
people
there.
that you haven't made amends with?
Haven't made amends
Have
with?
not made amends with?
Women?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one clear one.
Yeah.
We know.
Have there been women that you haven't made amends with where you've been in the wrong?
Where I've been in the wrong that I haven't made amends with.
Yeah.
Define being in the wrong.
Yeah, define me being in the wrong too.
No,
'cause
you were not objectively.
You shut that down.
in the
You shut that
wrong.
down quickly.
I'm gonna bleep the
No,
name.
no,
out.
no,
They
no.
both-
We know.
Who?
I think both situations.
Tell
Yeah.
No, not both. I made him. He's talking about made amends with.
Yeah, you haven't made amends with either of the
With either of
situation,
them.
have you?
Okay, I'm gonna bleep the names out. But yes, no.
You've made amends with.
Yeah,
I'm not asking. I don't know.
yeah, we're cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Define
Good.
to make amends.
We're good. We're
So-
good.
God, well, that's good. I was just asking, just for the sake of the conversation. I wasn't trying to like get us to talk about her.
Yeah, no, you're
I
right. You're
think,
right.
Like I was just saying like I think the growth is making amends with people that you've wronged,
Yeah.
even if it comes later on.
Yeah.
And that's happened to me where I just was lacking in communication because I thought she was on the same page and I should have done more in retrospect and I didn't. And so we talk about it afterwards, and maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm okay. I mean, I also handle taking accountability, not saying you two, I'm just saying like in general. I do a really good job of taking accountability. When I'm wrong, I take accountability. It's just I'm stubborn when I don't think I'm wrong
Yeah.
or in the
Yeah,
wrong.
that's fair. Yeah.
And I'm glad that I've made amends with the people that
Yeah.
I've made amends with, because it makes
Yeah.
sure, make certain that, and
Yeah.
this is, I'm actually, I can ask, I'm looking forward to asking this. Making amends with the people ensures that like I can show up to their wedding or they can show up to my wedding and there's no hard
That's
feelings.
so crazy.
Uh-huh.
And I
can't
was going
believe
to ask
said
you
that.
guys, like, could there's a good amount of people
No.
that I could go to. Like,
That I was like involved with?
yeah.
I can go to their
No.
wedding.
Yeah.
No,
I'm-
not a single one.
Well, you can bleep out names.
No, I don't. I mean, the
But-
names.
but I'm
not
saying,
even
like,
bothered with
for,
names,
no,
like-
I'm saying for me personally, I could, like, I won't name names, but I can go. I'm thinking about it, and I would go to a good amount, if not all, of anybody that I am still friends with. First of all, you got to be friends with that person.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Are you
I'm
still
not
in
friends
their-
with them.
I'm not. We're not friends.
We don't like all the people
There's
I've
not
been involved
anybody-
with. We don't speak.
Really,
She's not gonna invite me to her wedding.
man.
I mean,
Why
like
would she?
we
I
like.
wouldn't.
'Cause you
I'm
guys were-
cordial with them. If we ran into each other in the street, we'd be like, "Hey, how are you doing?" We follow each
Yeah.
other. We like each other posts, like shit like that. But none of us are like. I don't talk to them. Like, no.
It's just like it's a healthy point for both sides, because like, why do we gotta maintain
Yeah.
a relationship? Like, it's already too much. It's
'Cause
too
you guys are good-
messy. Already is.
Well, it depends. It is a case by case basis.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
Yeah, no.
I
Like,
love. Yeah.
If I was invited, would I go? Yeah, sure, to some of them. Like if all my
That's all-
other friends
yeah,
were
that's all I'm
going,
asking.
there's
but like,
there's only one person that I could even imagine inviting me to their wedding, and at this current state in life, the answer would be no. I wouldn't be able to go.
Hmm. Too
But
tough.
I know.
yeah, just because I feel like even hearing them with people like hurts sometimes, because I'm like over
Okay.
it, but it's like the thing for me is like how I would imagine someone who like got cheated on and then they get in a relationship and they're loyal would feel, is like what was so hard for you to like give me the same like grace that you give them. And the answer could just be we weren't right for each other, but it's like that would be too hard for me to sit there and like watch them get married to someone, because it's like I gave you so many attempts to be nice, to be understanding, and you actually just try to shoot me with a gun. So it's like I can't sit there and watch you like give the love that I was like almost handing to you to someone else.
That's real.
And that's like
yeah.
one specific situation. Other people we just don't talk, so I don't think
Yeah.
that would
It
happen.
also
Yeah.
would be alarming if you were getting invited. Maybe not alarming, but it would be interesting if you were getting invited to 5 or 6 different weddings of like all these. But I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, I do live by the whole. I want you to be happy.
Oh,
and
of
if
course.
it's not with me, I
Yeah.
hope it's with somebody else.
Yeah.
And there's a couple
Yeah.
different people. I'm just trying to think about like where relationships went. It's also easier for me to say this because like I said, I haven't really been in a serious relationship with people.
Yeah.
With somebody. So maybe if I was in a serious relationship, but I'd still think that I would be able to go to the wedding.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like I as someone who's been in like a serious relationship and like it's years removed at this point, I definitely like I wish her the best. I don't have any like ill will towards her. Like
Right.
people who knew us back then will still talk about how like bad she was for me, and I'm like like I understand we were young, like shit happens, like I'm not gonna hold her to it. Like I hope she's happy with her new like boyfriend stuff. The point is like I wish the best for everyone that I've interacted with. The only thing is just like I don't want to have to see it sometimes. Like you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I don't want you to be miserable forever, but like
That's
you
not
don't.
what
I
they
don't
do.
necessarily need to see your joy
Yeah.
in my face.
Yeah, this nigga went through a whole phase. Remember, he cut his hair, dyed it.
Tough fits, tough hairstyles.
Hey man,
Yeah.
I was nah. That's
I
the
don't-
funniest
I don't
shit.
think that there was any point where I was like, man, this is a bad color. But I can't
No,
remember.
that's not a
Thank you, I
bad
appreciate
color,
that.
but-
That's so funny that you said that because I was just talking to someone and I was looking through my memories trying to find when my hair was dyed. I said, "Oh my god, I got like 3 tattoos and dyed my hair like 4 different colors."
Yeah.
And it's been like a month, 2 months, and I was like, "Damn, that was not sitting well on me." Well, it was a few things, not
Yeah.
just that.
Do you
person.
want to keep where the hair is now?
Yeah, I want to get it long so I could like start doing braid styles and shit
Yeah.
like
Get your
that.
lock. Get
Do you
your
have a
lock ready.
favorite
Nah,
color
whenever
that
you
you
Get a
went?
lock, gang.
I think the favorite thing I've ever did was half white, half red, just because it was so like unique and cool. And like some people at DePaul like know me as that. They're like, "Oh, like you were the kid whose hair was like half white," and I'm like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
yeah."
Had some really good snap memories of
Him?
just reaction memes.
Yeah. Bro, remember the
Because I want to say the St. Patrick's Day party.
Green, I think.
Yeah,
Yellow?
you had a. It
Blonde?
was
Where we were-
blonde. Because
Blonde?
You
there's
know
that
what I'm
photo-
talking about?
There's that photo of
2022,
him
where we
Yeah.
were. Yeah.
There's that photo of
Yeah.
him sitting there, like by the TV.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was
Do you remember?
blonde, right?
That was blonde.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and look.
Bro,
that
you know
sounds right.
Were you? I don't know if you KO'd at that point in that, because I remember at one point in that night you were both done for. You were done for, and you
And
were
the
done
amount of
for.
people, that have told me
Can
I
I-
was done for.
Can I
That's
tell
like
the story?
100%. Yeah, I mean
So-
that's Olivia Topple's favorite story. Tor Topple's favorite story. Liv and Tor love that. Hannah loves that story. Bella loves that story. Everybody loves that
so
story.
it's 2022 St. Patty's Day. Like this is like the first St. Patty's Day the city's like opened up again. So
Yeah.
I was like, hey, my friend's flying in town. Like one of my best friends, she's never been to around Chicago. We're gonna do the parade. We're gonna drink whatever Saturday morning. Everybody does, right? This motherfucker Jacob's like, well, let's throw a party Friday night.
That was that weekend.
Yes, it was that weekend. He's like, let's throw a party Friday night. And I was like, okay, but like, don't get too drunk because we're getting up like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. to start drinking. He's like, no, I'll be good, right? We get to the party. People are already mixing liquor. You're taking shots of tequila and like, who had dark? Someone had dark liquor, like Henny or something like that. Was it Kobe?
Not somebody.
Was it
I
Kobe?
had everything there, every party.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah,
Number
you
two.
did. Yeah.
It was I messed up and bought Henny.
Yeah.
I messed up and bought. I messed up and bought Hennessy, and Seb
That
was asking for shots, and I
Oh, yeah,
remember
y'all
looking at before you go to the rest of the story. I remember
Yeah.
looking at the clock where I was like in a rough state where I just needed to be drinking water, and when I looked at the clock and it said 9:15, I knew I was done.
Yeah. And like I think you had crossed at that point at one point in the night too.
Probably.
And then you were also crossed, and you were mixing liquor, and he's already a lightweight. Like at this
that
point,
point
at
I
this point,
was,
in his always
yeah.
like he was a lightweight. And I just remember before you KO'd, I was talking to somebody for a minute. I was like, all right, where's Mason? Because like we're trying to leave or go like just get out of this point. He's like, oh, he jumped off the balcony, and I was like, huh? Someone goes, yeah, he jumped off the balcony, and like I'm a little drunk too, so I'm like freaking, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is Mason at? So like, I'm looking at the balcony. He's not on the balcony. I'm checking his location. I'm like, oh, he's still here. Where is he? Can't find him. That Bella shows me the photo she took of you like when he's sitting there, and I want to pop it up. He's sitting there like just like head in hands, cup here. It looks like a fucking album cover, like of like bad intentions.
Bro.
I'm like, I can't find him. So finally, I'm like, I'm gonna use the bathroom. I opened the bathroom. He was on the rim of the toilet seat. Just like leaning over, like barely awake. I was like, yo, you good? He's like, and I was like, okay, you're gonna sleep here. So I just closed the door. So then we go to your room. There's like 10 of us in Jacob's room. We're all just chilling, right? And I like didn't realize it till like after everything happened. Jacob's kind of just sitting in his chair, like quiet.
Zach's room.
Oh, Zach's room, right?
Zach's room.
Yeah, we're in Zach's room. You're just sitting in the chair. We were all because he was talking fine. He was talking fine. We were talking about basketball, something like that. Because Hannah and Kayla were in there, and then mad people pulled in. I remember Timmy was on the bike with a helmet on. Like it was just good vibes, right? But I realized Jacob's sitting in the chair and hasn't moved and said anything for like 5 to 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden, I'm sorry to do this to you.
I don't know.
All of a sudden,
Yeah.
he just goes.
But wait, so I'm confused now because I remember being in the room when that happened, but I also remember being bent over the toilet. That was crazy. Throwing up, and you coming in and pushing me to throw up in the same toilet.
Yeah. I felt you did it, and then you kind of just was like,
Yeah, I remember. So I had my head in my hands, and I
Yeah.
remember I was good. I just needed water.
yeah,
I heard everything that was going on.
yeah.
I remember I heard Vicky come into. You remember Malik's friend Vicky?
Yeah, I remember Vicky. Yeah.
I heard Vicky come in and leave within like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I remember she was looking for me, wanted to say what's up, and I just wasn't in the States to say hello. I was good. I just needed water.
Yeah.
And I was still good, just needed water, and then I wasn't good, and I still needed
You
water.
still needed water.
And it was.
But I will give y'all props though, because then like we rallied the
We
next
rallied well.
day and we went out. We started a little bit later. We started at like 12, and it was dumb cold out.
Bro, I
Crazy
woke
cold.
up on the couch, context crusted over, headache, ringing,
man.
looking around. I said, "Where'd everybody go?"
At mine, at mine.
On your
Yeah,
couch.
yeah, yeah.
I
I
said,
remember.
"Oh, fuck."
You remember Jacoby didn't have a jacket, and so
Yeah.
he was just.
He was just
Oh
thugging
my
it out.
god!
Abby didn't bring a jacket either. My friend Abby came to visit. She went to Florida State, so she was like, "Oh, I'm
This
just
ain't
gonna visit in March." I
Tallahassee.
was like, "It's cold."
It's cold.
I was like,
Yeah,
"It's like
that's
20
funny.
degrees."
Yeah,
That was funny as fuck though, because I remember I was just like, "Yeah, y'all are gonna. Yeah, it's gonna be a long night."
yeah.
I love why I brought my camera too. I have all the.
I
Photos.
posted like a couple photos that we had taken on Instagram. I remember Hannah commented something like, "Can't believe you survived it," or Bella made a meme of like he's risen,
He's risen.
with like my face over Jesus.
That's blasphemous.
He's Jewish.
Hannah said something. Hannah said something like, let's talk about. I forget what comment she said, but it was something like, "The state you were in last night," or "Can't believe."
You have the craziest
didn't get a
picture of me
photo
that
from
night.
last
There's
night.
another one of you like this.
Yeah, no, he's like this. Throwing up
I was
something.
sauced. I remember. No, my hands were just not cohesive because I was so drunk. I remember that night. The tipping point was I had taken a bunch of shots. I'd mixed tequila and vodka and all different sorts of things. I think we might have smoked, but I went up to you and Bella, and you guys had your seltzers or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, what are you drinking?" You guys hit it to me, shook it. Didn't matter if it was like full or empty. I downed the whole thing. Then I did that to Bella. So I was like, "Oh, DJ, what are you drinking?" He did the same thing. I don't remember where it was at. Downed the whole thing, and then walked off. And then that was
Man.
like the last thing I remember before I was
Being
just
attacked
cooked.
by gnats.
Yeah, bro,
Gotta eat
this
some
is
pickles.
wicked.
That reminds me, like, remember Seb's birthday party the year prior? Remember that at the Hawaiian
Yeah.
theme party, and you were there for that. That was like the first time we started like hanging out with Mason. It's like this is
I love
this is
the-
prime
The
like, freshman year
Hawaiian. I
Mason.
love the Hawaiian party just for
Oh.
two reasons.
Yeah.
And then I'll go after you though.
Oh no, I was gonna. I
That
was
was a
gonna
nuts
tell a full
party.
stories, but you can.
No, the two things about the Hawaiian party was that nobody told me it was a Hawaiian party. So
Oh,
me and whatever group I pulled up with were the only people,
Yeah.
like 4 out of 80, that
Yeah.
didn't have any Hawaiian shirts on. And then I always make the joke of there was a certain point. Now it's a small sample size. I'll give you credit; it's a small sample size. But whenever I would try to say what's up to DJ, the joke was like if he was ever off of a couple drinks talking to a girl, he was always gonna. If you ever walked up to him to say what's up, he was just gonna go and then just go back to whatever he was doing. I'm like, did DJ just big time me? That's crazy.
He walked up because he came a little bit later, and I was already fucked up at this point. You walked up, you dabbed. I don't think I even looked at you.
Yeah.
I saw your hand, and I just dabbed up, and I was
And that was it. I was like, man,
Yeah.
I'll talk to him tomorrow. But
that,
anyways,
that night
was
was
weird.
dangerous too, though, because like we were drinking when I used to live right
That's
over
when
here.
Dan and Noah were there, right?
Dan and Noah
Okay.
came. Noah was on some time in that night.
Yeah.
He was chatting up with somebody for, and there's bad photos, videos of it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember I was sitting at the counter with a whole bottle. I had a bottle of Jose Cuervo, and Noah had a pack of just seltzers, and we were just posted up at the counter for like a good 30 minutes, and I was just taking shots to the head,
Bro,
And I remember I was cooked.
do you remember the fake 2-man we were on that night?
Yes,
Bro, the girl that I was like, bro, oh my god, that was such a weird night. She was like,
that was the same girl. That
yeah,
Noah was
yeah.
talking to.
She was like leaning on me, and I feel so violated looking back on it. She I think hit my stomach, and just naturally I flexed because I saw the hand coming, and then she felt I don't know what my stomach feels like, and then started caressing. I said,
the washboard abs you have. Yeah.
And so then and then I remember her leaning in and doing that, flirting with me, and then there was a moment where she leaned back. She's like, "Are you bisexual?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "No," no, I didn't even respond. She was like, "It's okay if you are," but I was like, "No."
Reassuring.
No, I'm okay.
Shout out,
Or
man.
I'm straight. You know,
Yeah.
I'm chill.
Have you gotten
It's
that
good.
before?
Yeah, it's so funny. Someone actually we was just talking about this. I used to a lot in high school, but not as much in college. And then, but yeah, that was probably the last time I think someone had asked me in college.
Only night we had kind of similar to that St. Patty's Day night, or just I felt that like great vibe was like literally the past that like in May, that first weekend of
Mhm.
May. Did we like you ever tell you the story of us in first week of
First
May
weekend of May.
where we were drinking from like 4 to like 2 in the morning?
When was this?
This was like the weekend prior to you when we went to play pickleball on the roof. That weekend prior.
Okay.
We pulled up to our friend's place.
Oh.
Yeah, we pulled up to our friend's place. Me and Mason were like, oh, we'll just split a pack of Simplies and we'll be fine. We can each have 6.
Yeah.
That was
So
a
we
fun
drink
day.
we drink 6, right? And we're kind of just playing pickleball. A little bird. Kind of just playing pickleball, and he's like, all right, we gotta stop by this birthday party. I was like, oh yeah, we're fine, let's do it. So we're gonna go slide to this birthday party, and our friend Hannah pulled up with us. There's photos of us outside before we get to the party. Like we took a couple photos on the street. We look completely fine. Like we're like 6 Trillies in, but like
yeah, dude.
we're
Yeah.
fine, right?
Yeah.
Or simply lemonades. We get to the party and they just had like open alcohol of like bottles. And then this motherfucker's already feeling good. He's like, let's take shots, right? So he's like, this is his friend. He's
Smart,
like,
man.
you want a shot? You want a shot? Start doing
Yeah.
shots.
You know I'm drunk as fuck when I start asking if people want to take shots. Like I'll hand them out like I'm fucking Oprah or
He
some
was
shit.
handing
Like
out shots, bro. Like he was handing out. We must have had like 5 or 6 shots at that party. And it's funny because I remember Kendrick dropped "Not Like Us" at that point, and this is when we're already drunk.
the same, like we were literally drunk, and then Kendrick just dropped.
He's like, take the headphone. I remember this one white girl that was like, can I listen? We're like, no. Like, she kept trying to take the headphone from me.
Yeah, bro.
Me and Mason just in the hallway, just bouncing it, not like
Never
us.
leave
Like,
without my headphones, dog.
That's
like,
awesome.
it was great. So then we're still. It's like 8 p.m. at this point.
Was this
Before
the
you
video? Was this
continue-
the video that you showed me where you took the video of yourself?
Of walking
Or
down the
maybe
street.
was Noah there, or is this a
No,
different?
No, this
time?
is different. This is May.
Yeah.
That
was like-
was when I was
yeah.
back home. This is like
Before you
first week
finish
of
the
May.
story, I would like to say that I am a Drake stan. Have no shame in it. Never will have shame in it. When I was listening to that song, it was to see if my dog Drake was going to be okay in the rap.
I'm gonna
beef.
pop up the photo
Okay,
of
I
his
just wanted that to be said.
pop up the photo of his quote about Drake now about him being on his knees.
Very nice.
So we're listening to it, and the song's fire. And then
Not a
I'm
bad
a Drake
take,
fan
Mason.
too. I'm
Not
also
a
a
bad
Kendrick fan. So it's a derby party. So they had a big sheet of just fried chicken on the stove. Mind you, there's
Yeah.
4 black people at the
Yeah.
party. Me, Mason, and Hannah make up 3 of them.
Wasn't my best moment.
We're in the kitchen eating up fried chicken around all these white people in
Oh,
derby outfits.
what is this? A Jordan Peele movie?
Wasn't my best
Dude.
moment.
We're just making on fire. I looked around, I was
Oh,
like,
man.
no. Mason's over here throwing a football in the kitchen, like with some random
yeah.
guy throwing
Oh,
a
yeah.
football back and
Nice.
forth.
You know,
Just two
like
dudes hanging out.
say what you will about white people and like college white guys, but like, do they know how to party? Yeah, damn. I was drunk, bro. Put on a football. I said, "There's no fucking way." He went like in the living room. Mind you, we're in a living room of an apartment. It's small. He's inching back and back towards the wall, and we're throwing that bitch, just catching it. I said, "Go a little deeper, bro. I got you."
This was in the kitchen.
Yes,
Yes,
bro, I
bro,
was in the
Like,
kitchen.
Were
He
you
was
worried about
on
like
the other side.
expensive stuff?
They already
around?
had a
No,
broken
bro,
window
we
in
were
that
like
bitch,
fine
bro.
china.
Nah, bro, we were chill. It was straight vibes, bro. Just football back and forth.
Surprisingly,
That is
no one
actually
dropped the ball.
hilarious.
It was a
That
tight
is
spiral.
hilarious.
And the great part about it too was like, it was one of my film friends like party. So me and bro were talking about short films before that, and then next thing you know, we're drunk together throwing a football around. It was
I
fun
love how you go,
times.
like, man, you white guys, you guys are at a party. You pulled out a football. I was like, there is no way.
Real shit, man. Bro's phone's gonna die.
How
So
long are we on in terms of making good time?
it's 8:20.
Finish the story, and then we can wrap it up.
Yeah, I was just
Uh,
gonna say it's
yeah,
funny
I
that
was gonna make a
we
food joke.
did the first podcast in 2 years and we didn't do like any life update.
Yeah.
And the last couple
Fuck a life update.
episodes that you guys have done, it was like a week in between, and there were life updates. We didn't do any life updates.
Stay tuned for next episode.
Yeah, next
Yeah.
next update. Yeah, next update.
Were you gonna say so far? I continue the story, or
No, you
That's
can finish.
hilarious though. But anyway,
so like they're
so
throwing
fried chicken, Jordan Peele movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
damn near, right? So throw the football back and forth. So then Keith and Pat are like, yeah, we're pulling up because we're going to go back to the place we were at before we go out again. I bet I'll meet y'all up front. So I told Hannah, I was like, yo, I didn't remember saying this till she brought it outside. I was like, take some chicken for us, all right? Because I'm hungry as shit.
Oh
This
my
chicken
God,
got to
not
smack.
to go chicken.
So I go outside. Me and Mason go outside. Hannah's still inside. We're waiting for her. I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? Oh, she's getting the chicken. Mason's like, you know what? I'm going to get us more shots. Goes inside.
Great call.
Grabs like 5 cups. Grabs like 5 solo cups of just, I don't even know. It was like rum.
Just tequila.
It was
just
tequila.
shots.
Brings us tequila shots. We do shots outside.
Hell
Hannah
yeah.
throws hers in the bush. Smart thing because I'll explain later. I'm like, did you get the chicken? She's like, yes. Opens her purse, pulls out a baddest
Good
piece
for
of fried
Hannah.
chicken. I'm eating fried chicken with tequila in my hand. Mason pulls one out of his like jeans
I
pocket.
had it folded up in some napkins, put it out of my back pocket.
You guys are something else, man.
Right? So we're eating fried chicken, going to the next, I guess, pregame, but at this point, it's not really a pregame. We get to it's just continue drinking. We get to the part we were at, right? We're all there. And we're just kind of like, I'm like, all right, maybe I'm good for alcohol a little bit now. Maybe no more alcohol. This nigga starts chatting. He's chatting to somebody. I'm not going to say it. He's chatting to somebody. I have a photo. I'm going to insert the photo
I just
here.
realized that was the same night I had the most insane pictures taken.
He was posted up on the island, full legs, full stretched out, like leaning on the island, like trying to lock in. So I don't know. Just
I wanted to be eye to eye.
He wanted to be eye to eye with her.
You know?
So we're chilling there.
That was crazy.
Hannah's pretty fucked up. Hannah's like, she's like laughing. She goes straight face. She goes, "Where's your bathroom?" She's like, "Our friend's like down the hall." So Hannah goes to the bathroom. An hour goes by. Our friend's like, "Is your friend Hannah okay? She hasn't come back yet." I was like, "Oh shit!" I go to check the bathroom. Gone. I'm like, we're texting Hannah. "Where are you?" She texts back in the third person. Hannah went home. I was like, okay. She Irish goodbye at like
my God.
or
Shout out
9
my
o'clock.
dog.
And then so then the friend's apartment, she her sister orders like this bottle of like Casamigos, and then we start doing shots of Casamigos before we leave the party. So at this point, we're like what 6 Trulies, 10 shots in
Bro.
of just tequila. Too much, right? But we're feeling good. There's a photo of us on the elevator. It's a bad
No,
photo.
we don't talk about that photo.
It's a bad photo. Then we get to Old Town, and then after we're at Old Town, like I think we did one more shot, and then it was just the rest of the night was
the same night. Oh my God!
We did another shot at the bar. 11 shots, bro. 11 shots.
I'm upset I missed it.
No, it would have been so much fun if you were there. Oh my God, it was
Yeah.
like bad decisions were made that night,
That's
but
all right, though.
On his part, not mine.
That's all right.
on my part, but
I saw some dudes fighting on my bike ride home. It was
Nice.
funny.
we were posted up. Yeah, it
I
was
have the worst optics, or like, because I was just sitting here like, damn, we're really 2 black guys sitting here to like a white guy how we were eating fried chicken at a white party, sneaking shots outside, and then went to another party with a bunch of white women, and I was trying to talk to him, and then I was just like,
Nick, there's a video of me doing a Dougie in the apartment.
yeah,
Behind
bro.
me trying to
Oh
do
no,
a
that's
Dougie.
crazy.
It was
Yeah,
bad looks, bro. Overall, if we need,
it was fun as fuck. I'd do it again. 10 out of 10.
no, 100%
awesome.
gotta do it again. I mean, if you're still here in July when I'm back, or I guess June, I'll be back in June, just late June.
Yeah.
But he'll be
Depends on
filming,
games.
so we gotta wait till July
Yeah.
to do a little night like that again. You know,
Tired and cold.
wild time.
That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Anything else before?
No, good to
Wrap
be
it up.
back. Glad we did first episode in 2 years. Got some good convos in.
Yeah.
Ooh, I have a good thing to end. Once let's go see. But
Finals MVP picks. Is that what we're doing?
no,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Fuck around, give it to Jalen Brown. How are you gonna feel?
I'll be happy
Cool.
with the
It means a ring. I
It's a
don't care.
ring.
Give it to
Give it
give
to
it to
JB. I love JB.
dude. Give it to Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser. I don't care. Anyways.
We'll try to film another one of these. You know, maybe it'll be on Zoom or in person. We'll see. Appreciate y'all listening. And yeah, that's a wrap.